There's my mediocre people of YouTube. So I'm decided that even though my entire bench is a fucking disaster, I'm going to finish this Strat because I'm going to be using this bench to finish it. And then I'm going to clean my shop as well as everything else here. But anyway, we're going to get to soldering here. As you guys see, I opted for the Super Switch, which allows you many options. Now I could have just used the Super Switch to split the humbucker in position 2. What ends up happening is you can get it so that in position 2 you'd split the humbucker and you'd have these two pickups. But I want a little bit more options, so I opted to go with a mini switch so that I can split my humbucker whenever I desire, and I still get all the positions I want. These super switches allows you a lot more options. Okay, you can almost think of it as like 4 or 5-way switches in one. Okay, and it's simple. You've got your lugs here. You've got your basically you've got quadrants. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants. Okay, and then you're gonna wire up to those. And I'm not gonna sit here and make you guys watch me solder for an hour. I'll solder it up and then I'll show you what I did here. I actually have to lengthen some of these pickup wires a little bit, so I'll show how I did that. You see the little alligator clip on there. I just use what I can to hold this in place because I'm going to put a ground wire from pot to pot to pot. That's something I like to do when I'm wiring things up. So I've got my shitty little Weller there, which is what I have for now. And I've got my big soldering iron, the American Beauty. I don't really use that for soldering a whole lot. It's gigantic. I do use it for heating pots because it gets a pot nice and hot real quick. I need to give a shout out to these guys. American Beauty Tools is who made this soldering iron here, and they are a Detroit-based company. I believe they're in Troy, Michigan. You know what? These guys deserve a quick shout out. Okay, I got in touch with these guys because I found that soldering iron, the one I just showed you, my big, gigantic one, which is this soldering iron. Their website is AmericanBeautyTools.com. And I asked them about this soldering iron because I knew nothing about it. I found it. It turns out to be 175 watts. So that's a big soldering iron. That's for doing big jobs and not really for guitar work. Although like I said, I do like using it for heating pots up when I'm soldering onto potentiometers. However, I emailed these guys and they're great. Customer service is great. They manufacture everything right here in the United States. And their customer service, I told them what I was doing. I asked them about this soldering iron, let them know what I was up to, and I said I'm in the market for a soldering station when I'm ready, and this is the one he recommended to me. It's a 60 watt industrial grade soldering iron, and the price is pretty much right with everybody else, $199. But for your $199, man, you're getting an American made product. It's not a import. So these guys, and they have a YouTube channel as well. It is called Soldering Guru, and it's everything soldering. Okay, so quick shout out to those guys. If you're in the market for soldering, you like doing this kind of stuff, try to buy American made stuff. And if you're in the market for a soldering iron, check out American Beauty Tools. Their products are A1. Got Larry Lawton's book going in the background here, listening to that. So, as you guys see, a lot of times when I'm doing these wiring jobs, I'll start with any repairs I need to do, which is these wires here I needed to lengthen. So we soldered them together and did some shrink wrap. And, I do like to do my ground first. I like to have a solid ground between all the potentiometers, and then basically what I'll do is I'll start from my output jack and kind of work my way back to where I'm going. So at this point what we've got our humbucker hooked up, Got it hooked up to the 5-way switch with the options we want, and to the mini toggle switch to split it whenever we want to split it. And of course, the output jack is hooked up, so the humbucker's hooked up the way we want it. And now I'm just going off to the single coils. Like I said, I kind of start. A lot of times I start with the output jack, and I kind of go with what I'm thinking. It takes a minute when you're in your brain. You're thinking, all right, what exactly do I want to do here? And what options exactly do I want to do? So, you just one of those things. Just take your time with, because of course you want it to be a nice, neat job as well. So you just take your time with it and think about, what you're wanting, what I'm trying to get out here, which options you want out of your guitar. All right, so I am done soldering. I gotta tidy things up a little bit, but yeah, I believe I've got everything where I want it to be. So now the thing to do is to hook it up for a test drive, hook it up to amps. So let's do that. And I'm just doing this temporary hookup before I unplug my soldering irons, so that we can find out. Turn the amp on relatively loud. Let's see what we got here. Should be in this position, so it should be just the neck pickup. Alright. Next position should be the neck in the middle. That is correct. Next position should be what? The middle and just the middle pickup in the middle position. Next position should be the middle and the humbucker, which is split coil right now. Flip the switch. I should have full humbucker and the middle pickup, and then the final position is just the humbucker, and I should be able to split that humbucker. Awesome. This is not doing anything. That's because this tone control is for the it's for the single coils. So, and this tone control is for the humbucker. And the volume pot works. Hey, looks like we're in good shape. Yeah, cool. So we got the pick guard wired up. I used all 500K pots in this. The kit I bought, it's designed to use a 250K pot. Let me turn this amp off. It's designed to use a 250K pot for the single coils, but I used a 500K pot and a resistor in there, so that should help. We'll see how it goes. If not, we can always switch it. Yeah, I did mine a little bit differently. All 500K pots, and this is a mega switch, so I could have automatically split the humbucker in position 2. But I don't know. I kind of thought that was a little bit limited option, and I like the sound of a humbucker and a single coil mix, so that's why I decided on the mini switch, because it just opens up more options. And like I say, with the mega switch, you also have more options of tone. So the next thing to do will be, the thing to do is to set that pick guard aside and clean up a little bit, and then get back on the Strat, which everything has to come apart. I need to pull this Floyd Rose back out so that I can spray clear underneath where I routed. I want to clean it up, and I'd like to polish the frets. The locking nut is in place. I got a gold string retainer for this, so I can put that back on that guitar. I stole it off that guitar momentarily. So yeah, I'm on my way. So I am going to continue on. I'm going to, I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to use shielding paint on the inside here, and I probably should just go ahead and do it while I have everything apart. We'll see. You know, you start getting excited that it's getting close to getting done, but you know, god damn, things are such a fucking mess. Yeah, I gotta stop, and I need to set this pick guard aside and clean some shit up and get a little bit organized so that I can move on and get this guitar finished up, man. You know, you start getting towards the point where you're getting close to putting it back together and you get excited. So I don't want to get too excited and miss anything. Oh, as well as this, meant to say before, that's just a ground shield, but what I meant to say before was that guitar also came with a treble bleed circuit as well. So I also have that option. I'm trying to find it here. That is not it. I don't know what I did with it. It's in a little bag around here somewhere. But yeah, that kit also came with a treble bleed circuit. So yeah, we'll see what happens. If you know, we've got options, and I like having options, you know. So that's where we're at right now. I gotta straighten up, man. This is fucking ridiculous. Alright. So after I got the pick guard finished, I went ahead and sprayed where I routed out here for the Floyd. Went ahead and sprayed that with clear, and I decided to go ahead and shield the swimming pools, right? The Olympic size, standard, and hot tubs. So I put a ground wire in for that, which will end up getting grounded to the pot, and then this is the wire coming from the claw to ground the strings. I also went ahead and polished the frets. It seems to me that I did some type of fret work on this guitar when I got it. I think I had to do a slight fret leveling job, so I didn't mess with the frets, although I think I mentioned earlier that I did have some fret buzz. What that turned out to be was I didn't have enough relief in the neck, and once I put some relief in the neck, my buzzing problem stopped. I will tell you that if you decide to buy one of these guitars, the frets were not bad, but they were a little sharp on the edges. Part of it had to do with the fretboard being very dry, but I did have to file the edges. They were kind of sharp, so that's been done. And I'm going to go ahead and polish out these frets some more. This is just 4/0 steel wool. I'm going to put a coat of wax on the body. I was thinking of wet sanding it, the body. Going over and wet sanding the entire body, but I think for right now I'm just going to go ahead and give it a nice coat of wax. I use auto wax. I'm a fan of Mother's, and their paste wax is actually really good. It's a lot easier to remove than, I mean, not their paste wax, their liquid wax. I have paste wax formula too, which I also use on guitars, and I use it on the boats. But this time I'm just going to use this liquid, and it does work very well. There's a lacquer that I use, clear lacquer, just Valspar clear lacquer. Yeah, the liquid wax works very well. It comes off easier than the paste. Once I get the frets done and everything, I will be cleaning the fretboard, and for that I use naphtha. And if you're in a part of the country where you can't get naphtha, or you just don't have naphtha, or maybe you just have Zippo lighter fluid on hand, it's pretty much the same thing. And then I also use Howard's Feed and Wax for the fretboard. This is kind of going to be one of those do as I say, not as I do. I like this Howard's Feed and Wax. It's beeswax and orange oil. It doesn't damage the fretboard. It goes on and comes off very clean, and it leaves the fretboard looking very good. However, your fretboard does not need any conditioner, and the last thing it needs, if I can find it here, the last thing it needs is some dumb shit like this. That stuff will ruin your fucking fretboard. It's just, your fretboard does not need any of this shit. If your fretboard looks dirty, clean it with naphtha. If it otherwise, your fretboard needs water. It needs, if it's looking dry, it's because the moisture content in your home or wherever the guitar is at is not high enough. Your fretboard needs moisture, is what it really needs. So keep that in mind when you're doing this stuff. Watch the kind of things that you put on there. If you're going to put something on your fretboard, I suggest Howard's Feed and Wax. It is a very good product. The Guitar Doctor, Will's Easy Guitar, is the one that turned me onto this stuff, and it does work very well. I don't use it very often. Kind of depends on, you know, how much I've been playing the guitar and whatnot. But for the most part, if you keep the humidity level at the at the proper level where your guitars are being stored, somewhere around 40%, then your fretboards should just be staying fine and dandy. These haven't had anything on them. This fretboard, this is my Devlin Les Paul, hasn't had anything on it. None of these fretboards have had anything on them. And I know the lighting's kind of shitty in here, but I used Howard's Feed and Wax on all of these fretboards once, and they haven't needed anything. And since then, it's been at least well over a year. So yeah, I want everybody to keep in mind that, you know, your guitar fretboard does not need any special type of conditioner or special type of cleaner. I mean, honestly, if your fretboard's really dirty, I mean, really, honestly, the best thing you can really use on it is water. You know, I use naphtha because it flashes off very quickly, and it works very well for removing you know, any kind of dirt and whatnot. It does work very well for that, but like I said, it also flashes off very quickly, which is good, which means it leaves it doesn't leave any residue, and it does take the dirt off very quickly. So that's where we're at right now. I'm down here. I don't know if you guys could see me or not, but it's actually like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my robe, in my PJs. I'm not sure you really want to see that. I'm guessing not. So yeah, that's all I got for you for right now. I'm going to go ahead and throw a coat of wax on this, and then let's see, I'll clean and condition the fretboard, and then we're going to be putting this thing back together and setting it up, getting it ready. So we're back, and I'm going to show you guys how I go about conditioning the fretboard with Howard's Feed and Wax. Like I said, this is the best stuff I've found to condition your fretboards with, if you're going to do that. Again, like I've said before, there is no reason to put this stuff on except for the reason of making your fretboard look pretty, which I like. I like to make my fretboards look pretty. But you know, if you have the right humidity levels in your where you store your guitars, it'll look pretty anyway. So this is what you do. You just put this shit on here and just kind of wipe it in. You know, get it in there nice. And I'll kind of let this sit on here for a little bit, not too long. I don't like leaving anything sit on too long, but you can, the directions say saturate a small pad or cloth and wipe on. Let stand at least 20 minutes and then wipe off the excess. Polish out with a clean soft cloth. And what I like about this stuff is that when you do polish it out, it comes off and it doesn't leave any type of residue. And I really like that about this stuff. There's just no residue. I'm just trying to get up in here in between the locking nut. Not in between, but right up to the top of the locking nut here. There's a little small crack in that fretboard right there, and that's just how I got it. Again, these guitars are built really well, but attention to detail is not their forte. You're going to, as far as I know, unless things have changed, the guy that builds them, you're going to have to do some fretwork minor. It was just, I had some sharp frets in here, okay, when I first got it. Now maybe they've changed since then, but anyway, so now I'm just going to wait a little while. I probably won't wait 20 minutes on it. I'll probably wait more like 10 minutes or so. But yeah, here we are, just after Christmas, in between the New Year, and I just I made a mistake, which made me some money. I've been fucking around with cryptocurrency a little bit. If you know, at this current time, Bitcoin went up to 30,000, and a few years ago I was pleasantly surprised because I had some Bitcoin in an account that I'd basically forgotten about. I cashed out from my poker account and left it in the Bitcoin wallet, and there was like, it wasn't that I forgot about it, I knew it was there and I just left it there. It was initially around $500 and ended up being just under $4 grand by the time I got back to it, so that was cool. I don't advise anybody to fuck around investing in cryptocurrency. It's, you know, unless you're prepared to lose money. Now you can make a lot of money off it, but these are extremely volatile markets. On the other hand, I was reading today and yesterday, there's people out there talking about, well, it's time to short the VIX. And I think I told you guys about the VIX before, and I know some of you guys are into the VIX. The VIX is a investment that's designed to make money when the markets go down. And we've all kind of, any portfolio manager that's worth his weight, we've all been talking about, you know, the correction is coming for a long time now. And now, you know, we're starting to realize that maybe the correction was during the Obama administration, where the market was just stagnant for many years. Maybe that was the correction. We don't really know, but the markets are way up right now. The Dow and everything else, NASDAQ's way up. So that, with that being said, you know, for people to say it's time to short the VIX now, in my mind, it's time to buy into the VIX, because markets are high, VIX is low, and, you know, if you have some extra money to, you know, just drop into the VIX, because, you know, eventually the market's going to come down at some point. And when it does, the VIX is going to go way up, and that's when you cash out. You don't cash out of the VIX when the markets are up. So, yeah, I was reading some articles the last couple days, and there's a guy out there saying, yeah, it's time to short the VIX. And I thought, man, you know, with investments, it's almost like the government, you know. It's like whatever they tell you to do the opposite of it. Like back during the time, everybody was saying, "Oh yeah, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold." You know, no, it was actually a good time to sell gold, you know, but it wasn't a good time to buy gold. Just like now, it's a good time to sell gold. Gold's been up. So, there's your investment lesson from Detroit Wrecker. Alright, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to finish conditioning this fretboard, and I'm going to set this bitch up, and we may be uploading the final video for this guitar. Hey, could be today. Could be today. Oh, so here's what we ran into. I'm just getting things set up, and guess what? Remember when I got this guitar, it was 3 single coils. In the background, I have Larry Lawton's book playing. If you wonder what's going on in the background. Pretty cool dude, that Larry Lawton. He's got a YouTube channel. You can check him out on YouTube. Anyway, as I'm setting this up and installing my pickguard, I find out that there's not enough room for the humbucker. I need to route a little bit out on each side here on the top, just enough, probably maybe an eighth of an inch, a quarter of an inch at the very most on each side there, and then, but that's where we're at. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys, you know, what I'm running into here, in case you take on a project like this. So I have my router out, and this is just ridiculous how fucking what a mess this fucking shop is. I can't, in some ways I want to get this guitar done so that I can clean my fucking shop, because everything's such a fucking disaster. Anyway, so I got my router out. I'm using a brand new bit. I'm just going to freehand this. I don't think I'm going to film it, but I'm just going to take a little bit off on each side here. I'm going to pull that screw out. That's my grounding screw for my shielding. Right? Shielding doesn't work unless you got it connected to the ground, right? So make sure when you're doing that stuff, you're thinking about it. I shielded the entire cavity here, and then we've got shielding on the pickguard, which is grounded to the shielding on the pickguard is grounded to the shielding on the cavity as well, so that everything's shielded. I don't expect too much hum out of it anyway, but or buzz out of it. Of course, in this room, I got fluorescent above me. I got fluorescent up in my magnifying glass. I got fluorescent everywhere around here. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I am going to go ahead and route this out and touch up the shielding paint and go from there. I'm going to have to take the bridge back out, and I'm going to try to get away with it without having to take everything apart with the pick guard here. I shouldn't have to. Just cover it up real well so I don't get any dust in it. I don't know, I may have to take that. I just got done soldering the jack and the grounds in, so I don't know, we'll see what happens. Oh, good. The furnace is off. It's friggin' cold here in Michigan right now. We're at like end of January now, and in the interest of getting this video up, I just wanted to do a very simple, very quick sound check on this guitar. Since I worked on it last, probably 3 weeks ago or so, when I kind of finished it up, it's just been hanging, and I picked it up and I went to tune it, and we were in perfect tune. I haven't checked the tuning today, but it sounds pretty good. So yeah, this is complete, and I'm going to be real with you, and because these are the types of things you might run into when you're trying this stuff, and you're not a professional luthier. You're not doing this kind of work every single day. And even when you are doing this kind of work every single day, you're going to run into this. I ran into the, what was it, the 6th? Nope, 8th fret. Got a dead fret there, so I've got some fret work to do. I've got a high fret, here comes the furnace, but we'll just make sure it's up kind of loud. Not kind of loud, but anyway, we're doing this just straight into a simple little Marshall practice amp, MG, or no, this is a G15R CD. Just a Marshall practice amp right into the amp, no effects or anything. And we are in single coil mode right now. And that is the JB clone humbucker in single coil mode. So then we got the next position, which is the humbucker in single coil mode, and this single coil. Now I happen to, okay, well before I get to that, let's go to the next position, which is just the middle single coil. And then let's go to the next position. Again, this is what you run into. This is my fuck up. The next two positions on the switch, this is my shielding paint at work, and the switch is touching the shielding paint. So next time I'm not going to worry about it right now, but the next time I change the strings, I'll pull this off and I'll insulate the switch. One of the quadrants, the last two positions, is touching the shielding paint in there, and I knew that it was kind of touching, and I thought I had insulated it, you know, enough, but apparently not. So we got a we got a kill switch now. So then here's the okay. So with the mega switch, I could have made it so that when I went to position 2, I would have had automatically split the humbucker and would have had the middle single coil and the humbucker split. I opted to go ahead and switch my humbucker with a little mini switch. So here's the humbucker. Excellent. We're going to do a full review of this guitar. I just wanted to get this particular video, which is part 2, which maybe eventually I'll just merge both part 1 and part 2 so that it's all one video. But I just wanted to do a very simple sound test and show you guys this. So here's the next position, which is the humbucker and the middle pickup, which is a sound I really like. I like that blend. That's why I opted to go with to switch my humbucker with a mini switch, because I happen to like this sound. And I'll throw a couple effects on so that we can see how those sound, you know. Oh, so here's the middle pick. That's just, you guys already heard the middle single in our, for right now, kill switch. Like I said, I don't really feel like fucking with it right now, although I'm kind of disappointed because I wanted to hear it. We'll see. Maybe by the time I review it, I guess I don't have to wait for a string change. I can just pull a pick guard off. And that's the shitty part of having to, you know, have a pick guard on these guitars is, you know, anytime something goes wrong, you gotta pull the strings off in order to pull it out. But I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Floyd Rose. This is a Jackson JT500, I think. It's a made in Germany one. It turned out really nice. It's got that flutter that I like, and the nut. You know, I in fact I said it on a live stream. When I drilled this, I thought I could drill a straight hole, which I did on one side, but on the other side I didn't drill a very straight hole, and I had to deal with the consequences of that and do some work to get this hole straight, so this nut will sit right and be right. I gotta be honest with you, this is not the easiest guitar for me to play. We're not in the review though, so let's just end this part, and I will do a full review coming soon, and I'll try to get my ass in gear so it's not fucking forever. As per usual and true to form, I've got a million things going on at once, but that's all good.